Eminem's still one of the best, dude. He always will be. You can't. I don't think he can do anything to like relinquish that status that he has.
Well, unless he like comes out like Harvey Weinstein or something, like
right.
raping women, because then that trumps everything you've ever done.
Yeah, that's been a problem in Hollywood for like a long time.
Mm-hmm. It's never gonna stop.
You don't think so?
Because girls, like, they're always gonna need gigs and shit, and guys love pussy, so
they're gonna. So do you think the girls are working the guys? Getting gigs
same
by
thing. I'm sure it happens, but it's probably more rare.
Yeah, it's probably a little less, prominent. Because I mean, if they could like,
But if
they could just give it up and get whatever they want.
True, but if like the girl has that status and like she has that power over a guy, why would she be fucking like a nobody? She could fuck somebody big,
True. I guess that's right. I mean, how many of those girls do you think wanted to fuck Harvey Weinstein so they could get apart?
Oh, probably a lot.
You think? So, but he's at fault.
Yeah.
See, you can flip it around. You can kind of play,
It's really just like he said, she said. You never really know.
Yeah, it really is.
But when it's so many girls, though, that's when it's like, okay.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
And I mean, you don't know, like, the situation for every single female, Like, what Bill Cosby did was fucked up. Like, we know that most of those situations, he drugged those girls. And, like,
I think that's
them
crazy. Like, he just might not have, like, no game at all. Because you're that famous.
He's
like,
Bill fucking
You should
Cosby.
be able to get some pussy if you want some.
Seriously.
You could at least pay for it, Jesus.
Maybe he's like what do you call it when you like fucking dead bodies? He's
a mortician?
He's a those people who work with dead bodies. I mean, most of them are probably,
I'm sure there's some more morticians that fuck dead bodies, though.
Sliding their dicks in between the toes of the dead bodies. It's what is it, dude? It's like narco something. Oh fuck, not narcoleptic, but it's something else. People like fucking dead body. I mean, if the girl's drugged and like
narcissist,
she's a narcissist. Do you think you're a narcissist? No. I don't know if I am or not. Because sometimes, like, I watch that Chatting with the narcissism expert.
I didn't see that one.
You haven't seen that one? That one's really good. It's really good. And sometimes I'll like do stuff and I think, wow, am I being a narcissist?
Well, yeah,
right
I guess
now?
we all are, but
right.
It just depends on your level of
narcissism. I think it's when it starts like negatively impacting the relationships with other people that you have. That's when it becomes a problem, I would think.
I'd like to say that I'm not, but in other people's eyes, I'm sure they can see glimpses.
That way.
Yeah.
I don't think you are. I like you a lot, Eli.
Narcissist is like when you're obsessed with yourself, right?
Yeah. It's like an extreme obsession with yourself. And you're like, it's at the expense of other people, too.
Yeah, I know some narcissists then.
You think so? I'd ask you to name a few, but we can't really do that, can we?
No.
Nah, we can't name any. But yeah, that was a really good
I can say this, though. Is a fucking narcissist.
Really?
He's the most narcissistic, condescending, like, cynical. Like, you just have to meet this guy. And you have to be around him for, like, a short period of time to pick up on him.
Yeah.
But he is something else.
How old is he? You think he was always that way?
Yeah, because of the shit he tells me, like, from, like, his teenage days and shit like that. It's all relative to today.
He's always had that.
And I think that's a part of the reason why he's still there today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just...
It's holding him back?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because some days he has, like, good days where, like, he's very optimistic and, like, he talks about, like, goals and shit like that, but he's just, like, his biggest adversary just holds himself back. And it's, like, way too late now. You got 5 kids and you're 40. It's like, what can you do?
What else can you do?
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about life before, and I try to tell him, which is weird, that, like, there's more to life, and without being, like, too, like, without trying to, like, step on his toes. Yeah. But I try to, like, convince him and stuff, but he's not trying to hear none of that.
No, he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
You think it's because somewhere deep down he knows that it's true and that he's missed it all already?
Oh yeah, and he's just given up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I said, when you're married, you have 5 kids, and you have to be at a certain location every day for 48 hours a week.
It's
like,
sad.
what else can you really do?
You think it's a part of like the system? You think that's how? You think the system wants us to be that way? Because I mean, if you think about it, he's been working in the same job for 20 years, and so that's consistency.
Yeah.
And he's constantly bringing money into the company, and he's like, doing a service for the economy. Like he's like one of those people that helps keep the system, like he keeps the system working. He's a cog in the machine that always like runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think maybe the system's developed to keep us that way?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think so?
But they hide it very well. Like, I've ran into a problem where I wanted to go full-time there, but in order to go full-time, you have to work no less than 40 hours a week, and
They expect you to do overtime.
no, they don't, which is good, but one, the pay is shit, and then they want you to work these crazy hours, and like, you never get out of there on time because you get stuck doing shit, so it's like you want to do shit outside of work, like
You want to have a
be
life.
productive, but it's like impossible there.
Yeah.
So he'll work
my
like
God.
50 to 60 hour weeks. It has time to do nothing.
That's wild. I could not do that. I would feel like I was wasting my life.
And just a full timer, like you don't even
That's-
have that many responsibilities. So just imagine a store manager.
Oh my God, I could not do that. Would they pay you salary if you were a manager?
Yeah,
Or-
but it's not that much.
No.
It's decent in Fort Wayne, but anywhere else it's like whatever.
That's kind of how it is at my job. Like, if they offered me a manager position, I would probably decline, just because the pay raise wouldn't be astronomical from where I'm at now. Like, I could just keep working there, and it wouldn't make much of a difference on my bi-weekly paycheck, which is fucking
But it
stupid.
would fuck your mind up. You got so much more responsibilities.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm just too scared to, honestly, because I have so many dreams that I don't want to let go of.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that.
Yeah, because it's easy to get. I got stuck in it before, like going to school full time and working at a factory. Like
I could not.
I did nothing but that for like half of a year.
I could not imagine that. You get to a point where you're like, okay, there's got to be something else. Like,
Yeah.
I have to do something else.
Just imagine like being in a factory at midnight to 6 a.m. Just the thoughts in my head.
No.
It was fucking me up.
I could not do that. You're a bit of a slave.
I feel bad for my stepdad because he's worked at the same factory, same position for 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, but he could always quit.
Yeah, but it's the same case. Like, it's hard when you got kids and you got bills and shit.
You get kind of stuck.
It's big risk.
Freedom really isn't free, is it?
There's no such thing.
Is freedom?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
You can never be free.
From what?
It's like, I don't want to say the system, but like, you can never
But
be
just-
free of this way of living, like this life.
Yeah.
Because even if you're homeless, like, you got to pay for, I mean, obviously you got to pay for shit, but it's like, you can't
You still need-
it's not even easy to be homeless.
You still need money. It's harder to be homeless,
Yeah.
I would think. It's way harder to be homeless. Money is such a weird topic. I feel like we always get on money. Is it still recording?
Makes the world go round.
It does. And we
Or
need,
flat.
Or flat. God, I hate when people talk about flat Earth. No, we're not going to talk about flat Earth. It's talked about far too often. Far too often. We're slaves to the system in the sense that we constantly have to make money to spend money. So it's like a vicious circle. And I don't think you can ever get free of that.
No.
Unless you have so much money that you don't know what to do with it.
I don't even think that's possible, though.
Like, I mean, Bill and Melinda Gates, is that her name? Yeah.
But it's also like,
they have so much money, they're just giving it away. They're literally just giving
But they-
millions of dollars.
but they also need it. Like, they
Right.
can never not live without it now. And that would kind of suck, too, because we're all, like, chasing it. And then once you get to a certain level, like, you constantly have to have it.
I don't think any of us could live without it.
No, like, physically we couldn't.
There's a scene in Fight Club where Brad Pitt talks about how our possessions tend to possess us. And he says that, like, his ideal world would be, like, to go back to, like, hunter-gatherer society where, like, we didn't have currency and there were no classes. You were just a hunter or you were a gatherer, and you wore, like, leather clothes and you built your own house, and he like has this idea that that's like the purest way to live. Which
kind of, but I mean,
I think if we didn't know anything else, if we didn't know what this world was like, maybe we would be like satisfied there, you know. But we would always end up like progressing, you know. We'd make it easier for ourselves to hunt.
yeah,
We'd make it easier
we would
to
just
gather.
get back to the same point.
Yeah, we'd go right back. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Everything is circular, I think.
Everything is like, I was thinking it the other day, everything is related to each other. Like,
Mhm.
everything makes sense together for some
Right.
reason.
It's kind of like Buddhism has this philosophy where like everything is like interlinked with each other. So like every action you take, you know, causes something else.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like butterfly effect,
Yeah.
almost. And it's like, you know, we're a part of the earth as much as the earth is a part of us, you know.
Something interesting you said earlier was our possessions possess us.
Mhm.
I recently got into like this weird side of YouTube where these guys are talking about like the evilness or like the subliminal ness in the English language, where they were saying like, think about it, when we go to school, the first thing we learn is how to spell. And they were talking about spell and spells. We learn curses, and then you said possessions and like it possesses us. Like, you see how it's like,
Yeah, there's some wordplay there,
Yeah.
for sure.
and it makes sense. Like, a possession can possess you. It's kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, it can. You like you own something, like this is a possession,
Mhm.
you know, but it tends to possess you at the same time, which is weird. And have you seen the movie Fight Club?
No.
Oh, Eli, do yourself a favor.
You've been telling me about it for years.
Do yourself a favor and watch Fight Club. I have a hard copy of it. I will give it to you.
I have a
and you can watch
VHS
it.
copy.
VHS.
I'm just not a big fan of movies for some reason.
Dude, you would like this movie a lot. You would like this a lot because like there's a scene where he goes through all of his like all the things in his apartment, and like I saw like he'd be like, you know, this coffee table came out of a magazine, it was $225. This couch came out of a magazine, it was on sale for this much money. All these things define who I am.
He said that?
Yeah, at the beginning, and then he's like thinking to himself like, this is what I am. Like my possessions are what I am now. Like you are the car you drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are the laptop that you use. Like, you know, you're an iPhone person or an Android person.
Yeah.
You know, since when in the history of man have we been defined by what we buy? You know, it's like a relatively new kind of concept. You know, like brands.
And I think that's part of the trap.
Part of the, yeah.
Like they're very aware of what materials do to you, and they want you to get them.
For
they want you
sure.
to get stuck in it.
And think about like commercials too. Like commercials are very tricky in how they like how they sell things to you. Like think about underwear commercials. Like you ever see a fat underwear model?
You don't ever see fat models at all.
No, yeah, exactly. You don't. You
Like
don't see-
McDonald's, you see these skinny ass models eating a burger and shit. Like,
Yeah,
and
that's
they make
not-
it look like it's realistic to be a model and eat a burger,
Yeah,
but
they make it sexy.
you eat that burger, you're fucked.
Yeah, there's a part in Fight Club too where they're on a bus and he's looking at a picture of an underwear model, and Tyler Durden, who's like the second main character. Did it turn off again? So they're on a bus and there's like a poster for like an underwear, you know, like an underwear brand or whatever, and the model's just like jacked. And Tyler Durden looks to our main character. They call him the narrator. He doesn't have a name, and he's like, "You think that's what a man really looks like?" It's like, how many men do you think really look like that in real life? And they're trying to sell us that underwear. And he's like, fuck that. He's like, I'll wear whatever the fuck underwear I want. You know?
I probably
They
would
think
like the movie then.
You would really like this movie. Part of their main goal is to like tear down all the buildings in, I don't know where they are, somewhere in Seattle, I think. They're going to blow up all the bank buildings and try and get rid of everybody's debt so that they reset the system. And
that would fuck the world up.
it would. I think
I'm sure they're like behind the scenes. They have something like a plan B. If there was a revolution that ever happened, they probably already have like a new world order.
Oh,
or
I'm sure.
Some shit they already got planned.
I'm sure. I bet even, especially here in the United States, I think they're just waiting. They're just waiting for an uprising so that they can just squash us and take over.
it's slowly happening. Like the shit that they're restricting us from, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like they're slowly just making us more and more hopeless.